This is copper sulfate pentahydrate, and this is copper sulfate. And in this quick video, I want to find out basically what part of copper sulfate pentahydrate is the copper sulfate. For instance, if I had five, let's say I had 5 grams of this, well, what part of that 5 grams would be the copper sulfate? So that's what I want to talk about here for just a minute. I've broken copper sulfate pentahydrate and copper sulfate down, and I just want to add these up and find out how many grams per mole for each one of these. So I'm going to get my calculator ready. 63.5 plus, I'm adding this list, plus 64 plus 10 plus 80. 249.5, that's grams in a mole. Okay, that works. And what about the copper sulfate? By the way, that's copper 2 sulfate. Alright, 63.5 plus 32 plus 64 equals 159.5 grams per mole. So let's say that I had 5 grams, or I measured out 5 grams of this. It's a beautiful blue crystal. And I wanted to know what part of that 5 grams is the copper sulfate. Well, I just set up a simple ratio. And I said basically this. I said 5 grams is to 249.5 as this question mark, which could be X, is to 159.5. And so to solve this mathematically, I just cross multiplied basically. 5 times 159.5 divided by 249.5 will give me my answer. So if I set up 5 times 159.5, and I said that was equal to 249.5 times the question mark, or the X, that's really probably a better way to do it. And then I divided both sides by 249.5. I could say 5 times 159.5 divided by 249.5. 49.5. Let's change this question mark to an X. 249.5, because nobody uses a question mark as a variable except for me. All right, and then let's flip this so that it looks like we're in the United States. We'll go from left to right. And I don't like this X right here. That's kind of confusing, isn't it? Let's use our help here, and let's just put a dot right there instead. Anyhow, I'm going to flip this. Let's go X is equal to 5 times 159.5 divided by 249.5. Let's just put a dot here. That may not be very evident, but that's going to have to work. So here we go. We've already got 159.5 in our calculator, but I'm kind of afraid of all the extra numbers. Let's just clear that, and let's say 5 times 159.5 equals, divided by 249.5 equals, and I get 3.196. Let's just put that down for now. 3.196. And let's call that grams. that's really kind of what I intended to do in this video, and so I think I'm going to stop there and let's link all this stuff kind of together. So I will summarize one more time. If I had 5 grams of copper sulfate pentahydrate, what part of that 5 grams would the copper sulfate itself be? And the answer would be 3.196. You might could round it off to 3.2. That sounds reasonable as well. Bueno, bueno, bueno.